Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome back to the beautiful city of Raptoria here in Endzone, a world apart. This game came out yesterday on Steam and is really amazing. It's in early access, but it's a game that I think you should really check out, and I've enjoyed so far. I've done many streams on it in previous videos, so if you'd like to see those, make sure you subscribe and smash that notification bell. And thanks to everybody who hit the like button on the previous video, by the way, as you wanted to see more of this game as it just came out, and it seems to be helpful for some people. So here we are with episode 2. Welcome back, everyone. Great to see you here. Unfortunately, our food is very low, and we've got a lot of people in the camp, so we're going to try to keep them all alive as there's a unfortunate shortage of food. I'm going to try to build another fishing dock today and see if we can pull us up out of this depression after the giant drought came through. It really threw off a lot of our farming and a lot of our gathering and such, as everything was dried up. All the lakes were dried up, all the forests had shriveled up, and there was really nothing to gather anymore. But now it's all starting to come back. Fantastic. Good timing. All right, and good timing for you all being here. So welcome back, everyone, and thanks for joining me today. We're going to get this second fishing area, rather, gathered up, as we also have a second farming area. We're going to try to grow more and more food. It looks like we still have food in storage, and we're just going to have to do a little bit of rationing. It looks like our builder's also busy, too, building some more homes for our people. Looks like a few more people just need food. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can, there we go, pause all these buildings and just build a few at a time, and we'll make the fishing dock the most prioritized building on the docket. Looks like we have ourselves here just a little bit more wood that needs to be gathered and brought over, and then we can assign more people to fishing. We'll also build a road to get over here, too, and that'll be good for the early game. I'd say the early game is more difficult than anything else, of course, because there's so much to do and so little time to do it, and if you get hit by a drought in the beginning like we did, that's about the most nightmare starting situation you can have, as it really throws off your town's ability to grow and might also kill off some people, or at least lower their confidence, which sometimes I believe makes them move out or not want to have children, at least, which of course lowers your population in the end. We're starting to produce a lot of protective masks here from the tailor, who has to walk a little bit of a ways to get to the tailor, but at least it's better than building it downtown. It allows us to have more area to expand for homes, and that's going to be necessary for our later construction of a very large town, which I hope to do sometime soon. We'll see here the fishing dock be constructed by our construction crew, and it looks like somebody's going to make a road out there as well. Good. It looks like everybody's starting to gather things. Let's go ahead and assign more people to gather food. We'll go for tasks and tell more people to gather plants over here. There we go. And we should have some more people coming into town and doing all sorts of gathering and things like that. Homes are being constructed. Excellent. Homes constructed. Now more places for people to live and expand their families. Good. And it should keep our confidence high. This is the most important thing in the game, is to keep an eye on confidence and also the number of working adults that you have. Unfortunately, losing one there due to possibly death or old age. They die of all sorts of reasons, by the way. Death, old age, natural causes of death, I mean. Death by old age, starvation. There's no raiders or anything in the game, no military things yet, but there is a possibility that you can do trading with local factions. Like, for example, here, they want me to gather 154 scrap in order to maintain all of our camp promises to another faction, but they really give small bonuses for that. It's not really that great. Well, we have 35 food in storage, and we have 428 water in storage, so our food problem shouldn't be too bad. There is food for everybody to eat. It's just a moment of them, or a situation of them going to the wrecked bus to gather it. So we'll see about that very shortly. Food is coming in. Let's assign some more fishermen now that we have some more people to work the jobs. Let's get one builder there and one gatherer. Refiners are working good. Looks like they're trying to make as much cloth as possible. And it looks like we failed that mission task. But again, sometimes it's better to take a loss on these failed mission tasks. We were only going to get wood and tools from that. We could have used the tools, but the wood is not really that great, and we need to use all the scrap for building stuff. They wanted me to have 154 in reserve, but we were too concerned with the actual drought than anything else. Alright, well, I think we've had a few deaths in the town, so one way death is inevitable, same with taxes, but I guess taxes are outlawed now in this new world. So we're going to build a little cemetery down here for our people to go kind of remember the dead down there, and we'll see how that goes. Looks like some children are growing up to become adults, and it looks like we're okay on homes for now. So we now need to produce more clothing and more tools. There's a lot to do in this game. It is not an easy game. If you really want a challenge, this game is definitely for you. There are some things that will definitely be difficult to do in the beginning. So we got everyone assigned to gathering food and fishing if we can. Let's go ahead and get everyone else off of other jobs, and let's just prioritize gathering food and water. We're still trying to work on that one. There we go. Alright, so we have everyone working now solely on gathering food and water. And the refineries and whatnot have been shut down. So long as we take people off the task, that's fine. Alright, let's see. Yeah, our town has taken a very, very big hit. I've played this game a few times. Make sure you go back and watch the other streams, too, where we built things like large solar panel arrays, and you can really make a successful town. But what we encountered in our first episode was probably the worst-case scenario, where a drought will hit your town, and it's really stunted our growth. A lot of people have passed away now due to shortages, especially of food, but with 2 fishing docks, 2 farms, and a gatherer's hut, plus also a manual gathering zone, I'd argue that we've really done as much as we could, except for the drought that hit and really stunted our supplies. Well, looks like we still have plenty of food. Really wish that people wouldn't move out or die if there was plenty of food in storage. We have 121, that's not 0. So people should still be able to gather the food that they need. They just need to walk to the bus in order to get it. And our town now has gone from large confidence to low confidence as we've suffered some deaths. We'll be working on building that graveyard down there, though. That'll bring back up confidence. And, of course, no town is complete without its challenges. All great nations and empires have faced struggle and strife and starvation, and yet have come back out on top. We're going to go ahead and start monitoring our fishing docks. Looks like they're working at top priority, top efficiency. We just don't want them too close to each other to overlap and ruin their efficiency. So we can build them close together, just not next to each other. So you do have to space them out. We can also build another one up here and here, as well as more gathering posts too. But unfortunately, we don't have enough people to work all the jobs. So I guess we're culling the herd a little bit, unfortunately. But these are difficult times. Alright. So the next thing we're going to work on is, as soon as our food and water are good, we're going to... Oh, actually, can we expand this? Oh, we can expand the mini-map a little bit, I think. Oh, that's neat. Cool. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. There we go, that's helpful. Looks like the game is safe. Remember to saves. Oh, wow. That's neat. Okay. Shouldn't there be an autosave, though? Maybe it'd be nice if the game had an autosave. Alright, so we have everyone working full-time on fishing. And they're gathering food. Everybody's on full-time water gathering. That's good. Are all the jobs filled? We could use one more water carrier. Nobody else is needed for building. All other buildings are paused, so we'll stop with that. And we'll need a mortician, but only after the graveyard has been completed. Alright, we have another quest coming in. Wood stored, 348 will get 30 scrap and also 50 medicine. That's a good one to get. But again, we're trying to have our city not die after that horrendous drought at the very start. So now, how do we come out of struggle? This is our question now for this episode, is when things go wrong, how do we make them go right again? Well, we'll just focus solely on... Look at all the people, by the way, assigned to just food gathering. We have over 20 people working on food gathering, plus the 2 settlers that are working on gathering plants as well. Or they should be, at least. So there's over half the population working on just food and water. That's pretty impressive. Looks like the beans are now being gathered, so we will finally see ourselves... oh, they're actually planting them again. So that means they just gathered those, so a big boost to our food. So beans have been gathered, so fish and beans and berries and stuff. So that's good. We have food increasing that way. Looks like it'll produce 114, but the potato field will produce 252. So hopefully we don't have another drought again. We really need there not to be a drought. And that RNG of whether or not a drought is going to come will really affect you. Alright, let's go ahead and put some more food fields down. I'm going to plan these out for the future, but we'll leave these on pause. So if you're new to this game and you face a drought at the beginning, you might want to restart and not play any map that gives you a drought within like the first maybe 20 days. That is a very devastating hit to any city, no matter how skilled you are at the game. It is very difficult to keep people alive and, most importantly, happy as well when there's no food or water. And when that drought hits, again, everything disappears. There is no berry bushes. There's no lakes. There's no farms. You'll just have to be ready for it. Children is going back up, though. So after a very difficult first week for our citizens, they are snapping back. That confidence is low, but should remain high as soon as we get some more scrap ready here. How are we doing over here at our scrap gathering? Looks like they've gathered all the scrap. My goodness. Okay, we'll need to move that again. Find a big area of scrap. Doesn't look like there's anything nearby. There is some down here, though. There we go. We'll have random people assigned to that task there. And let's also assign some people to gathering wood. We'll move the work area here now to gather another 150 almost wood. There. Very good. Our citizens are doing very well despite the odds. I'm very proud of our people. They've done very good in such times of strife. And children are going back up. Good. Things are snapping back. We need to get that confidence up, though. We need more confident people. So that's why the graveyard's got to be the next thing. Alright, how are we doing now with citizens focused on gathering food? We need 16 farmers, but these two fields are paused, so the additional 4 and 4 are not needed. It's going to keep everybody as a settler, I think. Protective masks are not that critical anymore, because everything needs to go towards gathering. And if it makes the people sick, this will affect their average health over time, but it's not big enough of a number. So we have to make that hard decision to put their confidence first for the longevity of the city. And food and water is critical. Look at all this high traffic. People are just going back and forth constantly, getting water, constantly fishing from 2 different docks. The fields are almost ready to harvest again. In fact, I think they did harvest again. Let's take a look at the crop yield in this area. Oh, it's going to be a little barren. We need... oh, there we go. We got rain clouds coming over. Perfect. They should rain over the top of our city shortly. Hopefully, eventually, the farm fields get it. You'd think the soil around the docks and the water would be very, very highly fertile, but it seems like what we really rely on most is just the rain clouds. And you can kind of see them moving around a little bit. Unfortunately, we're getting shafted on that too, but we're making the most of what we have. Some of it is just luck. Food and water are still critical, but we are starting to get scraps, which are being moved down here. We failed another task for the other thing here, the wood reserves. But again, we're building ourselves a town and trying to keep everyone alive. Those are just bonuses. It doesn't affect you negatively. Doing them is not doing them is just like not getting extra resources. So there's no punishment for it. It's not a bad thing. So don't be too panicked about that. If you see tasks and you're failing them, don't worry too much. They're good for mid-game and end-game stuff. Alright, looks like we have more children becoming adults. We have 4 settlers ready to go there. Things are looking rather good. Alright, let's get this cemetery up. 56 is what we want in terms of scrap. So all of that's going down there. Increasing that confidence will increase that population. We need more hands in order to get us working here. We need to get that tailor and the recyclers up. You know what's interesting? Nobody's working there, but if you turn off the building, the smoke actually stops coming out of the chimney, or at least it used to. Oh, that's weird. Be a nice little animation thing though if nobody was working there, or if the building was off, that smoke didn't come out of the chimney. That'd be kind of cool. All right, confidence is starting to increase again. People are starting to understand that our times are tough, and they're just making it work barely. We got people still delivering scrap now. So from 43 up to 46. So we still need more scrap. Wow, food reserves are not bad. 578 is very good. Still not enough according to the game, but it's not the 40 and 50 that it was previously. If we see another drought, it is basically GG, and we'll have to start again. There's no way I can survive 2 droughts like that, let alone 1. But our people are sticking together. In their time of need, they're doing their jobs like never before. We've almost got 1,000 water in storage, and we've almost got 700 food. Hopefully that continues to go up with beans being harvested shortly. And also potatoes right on the horizon of being harvested. But the most important thing for us is that gathering hut. Look at how much food they can pull from over there. 1,540. Wow. That's impressive. I think we should build another gatherer post, to be honest. And we'll gather from the southern side. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll build another gatherer's post down here by the other fishing dock. Let's go ahead and plop that down right there. And we'll get some more people on gathering. Even more effective than it was before. So a unique and very good change to this game. But farming is also important too, because that can bring in food right before a drought. If you can harvest all of it right before a big drought, even if it's half a field, you could still bring in another almost 500 fields worth. Oh, and look at that. Our confidence is starting to increase. The city is snapping back, everyone. Fantastic. Glory to Raptoria. Absolutely fantastic. Good job, everyone. Excellent. Very happy to see that. Alright, looks like we have some homeless people too, as our town is starting to expand again. That population is creeping up. It's good to see, and it looks like the cemetery is almost ready. So let's go ahead and assign a builder to that as soon as that's ready. And actually, we also need the refinery, or I'm sorry, the gatherer's hut to go up too. So that's going to take some of the scrap. But we want first the cemetery. It actually is done. So all scrap will now be delivered to the gatherer hut. They got 4 out of 17. Beautiful. Very good. Good job, everyone. Very good. Boy, scrap is really, really rare in this part, though. When we build ourselves a large scrapyard, eventually we will be able to take from these buildings here, which have hundreds and hundreds of scrap. This town, in fact, is probably worth over 1,000 scrap altogether, and areas around it. So that should be pretty good. Alright, people are starting to get sad and lose confidence in our town, but don't worry. As soon as that cemetery is done, our people will have a place to worship those... Not worship, but remember those who have fallen in our previous drought. Although when the game goes on, it certainly doesn't get any easier. There can be pandemics in the game. There can be, again, droughts. I haven't seen any fires in the game, and there's certainly no raiders or anything like that, but that doesn't mean they won't expand into it, and that would be a cool thing to struggle with, is building defenses for your town. Which I did see a guard tower earlier in the loading screen of our previous episode, so there's a possibility that there could be some sort of defense, or maybe animal attacks or raider attacks, or who knows, some sort of reason to build a guard tower. Alright, the cemetery is next on the docket for construction, followed by the wonderful little gathering hut, which means that all remaining scrap can be stored and then sorted through by the recycler for additional cloth, which we can build the tailor, actually. It looks like I could assign a tailor now. Let me go ahead and do this. We'll assign 2 there, and we'll split this in half. Actually, we'll go 2 to 1. Excellent. Now we can start making protective masks. Good. But the next thing we really need is tools. So we'll have to get scrap to construct tools, but of course that comes with more other tasks. It would be nice if we completed that goal from earlier. Let's move the work area here and assign a mortician. Boom. The cemetery can now take all the dead off, and we can finally address our issues in our town. Beautiful. Alright, looks like the builder is done, so let's assign more people to gathering. Water is still very important here. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get just 2 gatherers in there. Looks like we have another adult ready. Oh, we need at least 1 settler in there at all times to transport things around. Alright, good. Well, the cemetery will start increasing confidence as it drags off the dead. It'll start boosting that up. That'll be good. It looks like we need to build more homes. So let's put our scraps towards that. It's amazing. You need so much scrap to build anything necessary. You need it to process in the recycler, you need it for the tailor to get cloth, and you need it for homes. It's kind of a catch-all material that needs to be refined into certain things, so you always need a good number there. 44 people without protective clothing. That's incredible. Well, that's what happens when you have to prioritize survival over, I guess, short-term over long-term. Without food and water, they'll die right away, but without protective masks and clothing, they'll die eventually. Unfortunate, but it's the nature of the situation. Alright, well apparently we don't have any dead. Maybe people just moved out. The cemetery is not taking any of the dead off. Maybe it'll just take a little bit more time, but at this point it should be more complete. Let's assign another mortician. Good, we have another goal we might be able to complete. Wood stored will give us a bunch of scrap. That would be useful to make more clothing. Let's try to continue to gather wood. Oh, looks like we got plenty of wood up there. 89, in fact. Let's move it to a bigger work area. Let's go with 135 there. Eventually, we can have a forester to replant trees, so we won't have to worry about running out of forest. Let's see if we can complete that task with the extra person there. Homeless are down to 3. The mortician is working now. Fantastic. So that'll boost our population's confidence again. We're sitting at half. Not bad after a giant drought. Uh-oh. Another one incoming. You gotta be kidding me. No! That's so early. That's so brutal. We're just still recovering from the first one. Alright, let's continue to gather materials for homes. Man, look at all the stuff we're doing here. Gotta move this work area for the second gather. There we go. Actually, can I keep it close by? How close can I keep it? Well, there's about 500, 600 there. Let's try to keep it not too far away. In fact, let's move this one a little closer. There we go. Alright, fantastic. Oh man, there's a confirmed drought coming in. You've got to be kidding me. That's devastating to our town. Alright, let's see what we can do to address it. Well, we still need water gatherers. The tailor's just going to have to go again. And the mortician's just going to have to keep hauling off the dead. That's a full-time job right there. Alright, gather 8 out of 8. Okay. 24 tools are needed. Alright, well, now food is starting to look good. Water is still a little low. Let's continue to construct homes. Actually, to be honest, we're probably going to have a large amount of death, so I'm going to cool it on the home construction, because we know we're going to lose people. It's just the nature of the game. So let's try to go with a boardwalk for more water. So we'll build a boardwalk there, and another cistern next to it. There we go. Very nice. We'll see if we can get that constructed before the end times here. If we can get a little extra water before 0 hour, we should be good. Wow, 29 out of 48 graves in there. We lost either 29 people or... I believe you start with some dead to begin with, and eventually I think it affects your town if you don't take care of it. So the cemetery is something you need to construct. But we are still losing people regardless. Wow, what a difficult and brutal city builder for sure. More of a survival game than anything else. Another mission failed there. They don't give you a lot of time to complete these either, but I haven't seen anything that's very good this time around either. My previous city that I played in live streams was much more lucky, I'd say. RNG, or random number generation, or just randomness, is a part of this game as well. Sometimes you won't see droughts for the first 30 days. Other times, boom, there's one every other week. Alright, let's prepare for our second drought. As we know, we need food and water. So I'm going to let these fields grow until the day before, and then we'll harvest. We're going to have to get rid of our morticians eventually, and just go for all things survival. Building here requires more scrap, and that's what our people are gathering from the tasks here. Looks like there's only 18 remaining. There we go. Let's gather a little bit more from over there. And we'll have to see what we can do. Rain gatherers are great, but we'll need plastic in order to build those. Which is why it's good to get a little bit more time before your first drought. No doubt about it, it is very important to have water. But at least food will be less of an issue this time around. And almost enough materials to build the cistern. I would like it if the construction crews could build the building but not complete it. If they have the materials to do so. Alright, let's go ahead and get rid of some of the morticians. And let's put them on water gathering. Gotta get everybody on gathering water. Construction crews are working on what they need to. We shouldn't have anybody dying at the moment from food or water, so it should all be down to protective masks. But really, the health of the settlers is very high, so there really should be no reason for death anymore, except for maybe if it's due to exposure from the homelessness. But again, we've got to put, with this drought coming, we've got to put our time and money, our efforts, all efforts into food and water gathering. Looks like we'll get another 160 food here, so that's good. But water is most important. Also, random settlers to carry things back to the town. Okay, drought is approaching. We still have a little bit more time before we harvest. Should have over 200 food. But it's not necessarily the drought that's the problem. It's the time after the drought where everything is still dead that it needs to regrow. So the regrowth time after a drought is very difficult to manage. Let's go ahead and have our people not gather too far away from the gatherer's hut. There we go. Water reserves are increasing. Okay, we can have 2 people into morticians again. Well, they give you lots of slots at the graveyard, 48 to be precise, so that's quite a bit of leeway for any sort of trouble. Alright, almost time to harvest then. Later today, we're going to initiate the harvest. A lot of food there ready to go. Fishermen are going like crazy. You can just see them fishing. Would be nice if some of these buildings could be upgraded. The game reminding me again to save. Alright, well, too late to save. We got a drought incoming. We're going to have to save the city. We're at 1,400 water now. Let's see if we can do better on this time around. People are gathering good amounts of scrap. Let's try to convert some of that to cloth now and try to get protective masks going. We have 5 cloth left, so let's assign a tailor and a refiner. And we'll get our builder off the docket now. We're not building anything at the moment. We're bracing for impact, basically. Giant, it's like a meteorite's coming to Earth, and we're all trying to get things done before it hits. Luckily, radiation is low, so again, our health problems shouldn't be that big of a factor. We've got 40 population, though. Wonderful. We've got 40 people. Things are starting to boost up. That's great. But they're about to drop down as soon as the storm hits. Maybe possibly a sandstorm this time. Let's take a look at fertility. We're getting screwed with the amount of rainwater coming in. Oh, good. It'll rain once more before the drought over the lake. And that'll help our crops to grow a little bit more. Little extra boost to fertility here. Seems like we should have built our farm here, but I don't know where the rain's going to be. Look at this. Our numbers are good. We've got almost 2,000 water and almost 1,000 food. We should be seeing no more deaths in the city from food or water. But it's about to be the case here. Let's go ahead and harvest current yield. Right now. We're going to tell all of our people to start harvesting. That'll give us a boost of food to about 300 food. Still won't be enough. This game is all about never enough. You can never have enough food, never have enough water. You can only have temporary supplies. Okay, let's see here. Where else is there some scrap nearby? Well, there's quite a bit down here, but it's very far away. But I need a longer supply of it. Okay, we have ourselves the drought, which means we can get rid of everybody on hunting and gathering and farm. Well, farming is still... They're still harvesting the completed crops, so that shouldn't hurt the crops at all. So now everyone's going to be a builder and a gatherer of materials. Everything is dried up. The harvests are almost complete. Good job, everyone. Alright, let's go ahead and stop the farming for now. Now, everyone will be assigned to basically gathering scrap, so this will give us a lot of time to start building some new buildings and possibly refining more things into cloth. So let's solve our homeless problem. All scrap will be moved to those buildings, and everyone else should be down here now working on gathering scrap. Unfortunately, we're very low on tools and protective masks, but food and water are first. I can't believe it, a second drought. That is amazing. It's all RNG, though. And despite my skill in the game, there is still going to be deaths. But I guess deaths in the game don't equate skill. You could have 2 droughts back to back, and it could devastate you. And that's really a tough time. Good population, though, so far. And extra homes being built. Good, we only need a few more homes. Now, eventually we'll have to get on making tools, but in order to make tools, we need metal first. So let's go ahead and add one of our gatherers there, start gathering metal so we can start making tools for our blacksmith. Let's see exactly what it's called in the game. I don't think that's the official name. It's called the workshop, and we'll need 12 metal in order to construct that. Okay, another home being constructed. Alright, so the next problem we can solve is our tool problem. But that's going to require a lot of scrap in order to complete that. I would like to build a scrapyard now, which doesn't require too many materials, but will require a lot of labor. And, of course, we can build that over here for, look at that, thousands and thousands of scrap over here. Beautiful. Alright, let's build that over in the distance a little bit. Give our farm fields a little area to breathe. And we can use... we can move the work area of this scrapyard so it'll be just fine. Beautiful. Alright, well, we've survived another drought. Great, good for us. Water is at 0, basically. Farmers, not needed at the moment. It's just going to be the fishermen at the moment. And then we need to wait a little, maybe a day or two for gatherers to come back. As well as farming. Could probably take place now, so let's pause and continue farming again. Good. Looks like we can get another field going. So let's make sure we do that. We'll do another field of this time. Let's see. Corn seems to be the fastest growing, so let's get more of that. Let's do 2 fields of corn to continue to increase our growth. Good. There we go. Alright. Hopefully that solves our food problem. Well, let's see what happens. Water is coming back up. Oh, going down a little bit. There it goes. Coming back up again. Good. There'll be shortages. And over time, the morticians, the bodies decay enough that you can actually put more bodies inside the mortuary, or the cemetery in this case. Alright, good. Another building almost complete. The scrapyard. Fantastic. That'll give us a big boost finally to scrap, and we won't have to worry about that. Wow, we've survived 2 devastating droughts with some major deaths, but they have not taken out our city. Our city is still standing strong. Our people still fairly confident, their health still fairly good, and they are putting up a fight. If you guys want to see more of this game, make sure you go ahead and let me know by smashing that like button. I would like to do more on this one, so if you're liking Surviving the Aftermath or Endzone, A World Apart, or any of those other games that have to do with building a apocalyptic survival city, make sure you let me know by smashing that like button. You guys are amazing. So thank you as always for the support, and I'll see you next time for more Glory to Raptoria, and I hope to see you all soon. Thanks for being with me. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.